One, two, three, four, five. Yeehaw! Big boy fella here at it again. Big boy fella at it again. In the house. I'm sitting up here in my Upar house. I just pretty much got back from the rehabilitation center at about 9:30, I imagine. Currently it's about 10:30, probably closer to 11 than 10:30. I just ate a little late night chow, which I put together. You might see it on the Facebook. Ramen noodles and some hard fried eggs. Somebody told me if I eat ramen noodles, put some eggs on it. I won't tell you who told me that, but I digress. So why did I make this video here about 10:45 p.m.? Shit, who knows? If I really can't recollect why I'm making this video. Anyway, I'm looking at a little bit of television. Grit. I kind of like Grit. It's Western. And then again, I also like the crime things. There's a lot of, if you notice, there's a lot of crime thing on TV, like CSI, Law and Order, and like 48 Hours and American Most Wanted and all that kind of stuff. I kind of enjoy looking at them things, those television, They're easy to find on TV. Anyway, I'm through. I am absolutely finished with Spectrum. I got this thing from Spectrum, which is supposed to enhance my television viewing pleasure. And I'm telling you, I cannot, for the sake of me, figure out what advantages this thing brings to me. And it costs $70 a month, by the way. It offers no benefit. And damn if I'm going to pay for it. So tomorrow I'm wrapping this stuff up here. Taking it back to Spectrum, telling them, hey, I'm done. I see no advantages in me having this services. The services offer no advantages. So we're gonna pass on that. Yes, sir, buddy. I ain't got time to be messing with them folks. Hell, you remember I was telling y'all about that remote control I couldn't find. Well, I tell you one thing, I couldn't find it, but it only took Madam Lisa 5 minutes to find that remote control. A remote control I've been looking for about at least 3 or 4 days. At least 3 or 4 days, quite possibly 5 days. I was actually embarrassed. I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm sitting out here in this apartment. I don't have the AC on. Maybe I need to get up and turn it on because it is kind of warm in here. So I'm going to turn it on before I go to bed. I'm getting ready to go to bed shortly. Maybe the next 10 or 15 minutes. Here's what I realized. Last night was a rough night for me. I had cramps. Like it started at about like 2 o'clock in the morning. And man, them cramps stayed with me until about 6 or 7 a.m. this morning. Couldn't get rid of them. I hope that ain't the situation tonight. These cramps, man. boy, they put a hurting on you, man. I can't handle them goddamn things. Anyway, I went to the I told you I went to the rehabilitation center. I saw them around here all day long today, right? Because, damn it, somebody calling me. I was waiting on the people to come and get this equipment that they put in this house for the usage of our father. But since we no longer need it, I had to return it. And I called the people about 11 o'clock, I imagine. I said, hey, they've been here yesterday. I wasn't here. So they left one of them things on the door saying, hey, call us because we need to return. We need to come and recover this equipment. Call us and we'll arrange for somebody to come pick it up. And so I called them probably about 10, 11 o'clock this morning. And I say, y'all can come send somebody to get this equipment. I'll be here waiting. Blah, 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 right? Anyway, somebody finally showed up at 6:30. So I sat here all day. Now, my father called and said, hey, I need my clothes. I need you to bring my clothes for tomorrow. So I said, okay. So now I got to go out there to take some clothes so he can look good. So he can look good going to dialysis tomorrow. That's what it comes down to. But I digress. I noticed I got the same clothes on today I had on yesterday. Yes, sir, buddy. And one more thing. Wow. Look at that. Bud Light. Now, understand this Bud Light ain't the best thing for my cramps. These cramps will probably reveal themselves again after midnight. If they don't, I'm not getting out of bed until about 8 or 9 o'clock. Now, remember, tomorrow is Saturday, and what's going on in Timbersville, South Carolina, mañana? Barbecue. Them folks be down there selling that barbecue tomorrow. They probably show up about 10, 11 o'clock. I don't know. Remember last week I went down there to get something. Nobody wasn't down there because they had a jamboree. They had what's called a jamboree. Essentially homecoming. What that means is that one day of the year, people that graduated from this high school that used to be in this town, Timbersville High School, alumni, they call them alumni, right? They all sponsor one big cookout. Class of 95, class of 96, class of 97, class of 98. And they cook a whole, load of food, man. And they don't even sell it. They cook it, and if anybody wants something, they'll give them a plate. I went through that last week. I thought they were selling like plates. I offered to pay. They said, oh, no, it's free. You can have it. So, I got some barbecue chicken, and I got a couple of slabs of ribs, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted, and I told y'all about the macaroni and cheese, right? So tomorrow, I'm going down there and get me some ribs and potato salad. And then that person, that guy's still down there with that pulled pork, right? Man, that's some good stuff. Now, if you go back to my YouTube videos, February, early this year, you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, I digress. So, like I said, I'm sitting up here. Ain't nothing going on. I drank me a 25-ounce beer. Actually, I ain't gonna lie to you, I had two of them. You know them Bud Light, big, tall can beer, 24 ounces or some shit. I think it's 25. I had one and then I had another one. Maybe I get through the night and maybe I don't. Maybe these cramps will put a hurting on me. Anyway, when I came back from the rehabilitation center, it must have been about 9 o'clock, I guess. When I left the rehabilitation center, it was 9 o'clock. It was 9 o'clock. The ride here is like 20 minutes. Cause you're going through a city, you got some city traffic, stoplights and stuff, right? It's actually about 9 miles, I imagine. 8 or 9 miles from here. Maybe 10. And I stopped and got another $20 worth of gas. Another $20 worth of gas I had to put in that thing. Which was 8 gallons, by the way. And it started raining before I got here. When I got in the parking lot out there, it was raining like you know what. Cats and dogs. And I'm saying, damn, I'm going to get wet. And I told y'all if I get wet, there's a possibility I can go under the weather. Like I might go in the weather for a day or two. Now, I didn't want that to happen. But anyway, I got wet, so. Ooh, maybe this rain will go away, man. They said the tornado, what they call hurricane season, still in the air. So we'll see. Anyway, I'll follow through with dialysis tomorrow morning at or about 7 a.m. It'll probably take him most of the morning to about noon. He'll actually go back. They will return him to his quarters at or about noon, and who knows what condition he'll be in at that particular point in time. I would say today he was relatively okay. He was okay. I mean, his spirit was relatively okay. Now, I will tell you about this. Yes, our father has essentially lost his mobility. His physical strength has went away, essentially. His ability to communicate essentially has went away to some degree. I mean, he don't have the strength to talk, like I'm talking right now, right? That's not the case. But one thing that has not been altered one bit, his comprehension. His comprehension is still at or about maximum capacity. This guy be asking me stuff, I'm saying like, what? And I be saying like, damn, what are you talking about? I'm saying like, why is he worrying about that? 100% maximum capacity to analyze, think, analyze, and act. I'm saying, shit. If you lose any of that, there's no degree of dimension, Alzheimer, any of that shit. At least I don't. So his faculties is still intact. In other words, his faculty is still intact. If he had the ability to actually, the strength to talk, he could probably put my black ass to shame. In other words, I wouldn't be able to get over on them. You know what I'm saying? Like ignore certain things. Like, when when you're dealing with people like this, right? You have a tendency to like overlook a lot of stuff. The communication aspect, right? I wouldn't have that ability because if he says something, if I didn't respond appropriately, he's going to challenge me. And then I would have to respond appropriately. In other words, if he says something like, and this is the case, he said, you need to change the tire on that car because it's dry rotted. I don't want you to be out there and get stranded. And I might say something like, okay. And then I might go as far as to say, well, man, they ain't worrying about that tire. And then he might come back again and say, well, if you want to change that tire, you can go over there and get a tire and they'll blah, blah, blah. They'll change it for you and then you can get a cheap tire over there. You go, and I'll be forced to say, okay, yeah, all right, I agree. I concur. I need to do that. We need to get that done. Blah, 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 blah. Damn. Anyway, that's where we at. And I'm gonna get me another good sip of this good old ice water here. It's been rather hectic, to be honest with you. In all actuality, I'm a bit out of my environment. I'm 65, but the life I led, very few people had led this life, essentially. Especially at 65. I had never had a health issue. I've always had employment. I have made rather pretty good income. I didn't always have a lot of women. I don't think I had nearly as many women as I wanted to. But dang gone. At my tender age now, 64 and a half. Woo! I got myself into something now, boy. Yeehaw! Well, anyway. Who knows? Anyway, like I said, I'm a bit out of my environment. You know what I'm saying? I tell you one thing. Here's what I would say. I've always stated this essentially. I ain't got no woman. I don't want no woman. And if I died and fell down in my apartment and y'all find me 6 months later, then I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I still kind of feel that way. But I'll tell you, having a wife is a good thing. Gentlemen, if you're my age and you ain't got a wife, you probably better try to get you one. You probably better try to get you a wife. Because I'm telling you, if our father had a wife here, and he had a wife, right, a woman here, but she died about 10 years ago. I imagine it's been that long. If you had a wife, if my dad had a wife, right, he'll be okay in this apartment. I mean, as difficult as it is, or maybe at time, he'll be okay. The only reason he's not here in his dwelling is because he don't have a wife. So I got me a wife, essentially. And she's 20 years younger. So I expect for her to dang on deal with the situation appropriately. At least that's what I expect, goddamn. Yeah, now let me get back behind the wheel. Somebody told me, I ain't gonna tell y'all who told me this, but This person said, you need to eat about a dozen bananas in the next 4 or 5 days. Get your potassium back up, right? I guess I can go someplace like Walgreens and get some potassium pills. They seem to, well, Walmart too, really. They seem to have a pill for every damn thing else in the book. I'm sure they got a pill for potassium to get your potassium up. Anyway, this individual said, you eat bananas. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big banana fan. Now, I kind of liked banana when I was growing up. Until I moved in with my grandmother, and man, I ate so much banana. I kind of like, I'm the last person. You know something? Let me tell you a little trick, a little thing. Let me tell you a little fact. Y'all know I live in Mexico, Juarez, Mexico. They got these street vendors, like produce market vendors and stuff on the street. And I go in the, let me tell you something. They sell bananas, oranges, apples, blah, blah. Bananas, orange, apple, watermelons, cantaloupe. They sell anything produce they sell. Peppers, collard greens, cabbage. Hell, they sell it all. Onions, blah, blah. Jalapeno pickles, right? You know, anyway, make a long story short. The first time I ever ate a banana in Mexico was like 10 days ago. About 10 days ago was the first time I ever ate a banana in Mexico. And it was pretty dang on good. As a matter of fact, like I bought like 4 or 5 bananas, which probably was like a kilo. I don't know. Like I know in the U.S. y'all do pounds. In Mexico we do kilos. You know, most times if you observe me rather close, you know I use the metric system far more than I use the international standards. Like if you ask me how far that is, I probably will tell you in kilometers. If you ask me how much this way, I probably will tell you in kilometers. Usually that's the case. You know, kilometers, kilometers, blah, blah, blah. You know, because that's the way I'm wired essentially. But anyway, I think I bought 1 kilometer of bananas about 2 weeks ago. I know I ate 2 or 3 of them. But I can also remember throwing the rest of them away. Anyway, I gotta go and get me some goddamn bananas tomorrow. If me eating like 3 or 4 bananas tomorrow will help me evade these goddamn muscle cramps, then I'm eating me some. It ain't a birthday I'm gonna do when I get out of here is go and get me some dang on bananas. There's a Piggy Wiggy. Y'all know what Piggy Wiggy is, right? Grocery store. Piggy Wiggy. There used to be a Piggy Wiggy. Winn-Dixie, Winn, W-I-N-N. You know, like win the basketball game. Okay, Winn-Dixie. That means the rebels in the Civil War. You know, the Northern was called Yankees, and the Southern was called rebels. And the Dixie part comes the Mason-Dixon line. The North is divided by the Mason-Dixon line, just like on a chessboard, right? A checkerboard. If you play checker. The Mason-Dixon, let me show y'all the Mason-Dixon line here in the good old USA. The Mason-Dixon line is Interstate 70. That's about the best I can think. That's about the best thing I can tell you. Anything north of Interstate 70 is Yankee, like Yankee territory, the New York Yankees, blah, blah, blah. And anything south is Rebel. That's the 2 point where the North versus the South in the Civil War. That's the separation between the North and the South. You know, like the South and the North. The separation point was in the days synopsis would be Interstate 70. Anything Interstate 70. Interstate 70 essentially is the Mason-Dixon line. It would run all the way to Illinois. Quite possibly Iowa. Well, hell, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let me get out of here. We're now talking 26 minutes, 27 minutes, really. And it's high tide. I imagine it's at least 11 o'clock. It's high time I shut this thing down and take my behind to bed. Like I said, if I don't have cramps tonight, it'll be about 8 or 9 o'clock before I get up. Our Upa don't get out of dialysis until like noon. And I would imagine I go out there tomorrow at about 2 or 3 o'clock for a couple hours, 2, 3 hours. I mean, I don't do nothing but go out there and sit up there and look at television. He's got better television than I do. So it's a good possibility. I go out there and look at me a good college football game. You got your Alabamas, Texas Longhorn, Georgia, Clemson. I don't know where Colorado playing tomorrow. That Deion Colorado team, I ain't seen them yet. They usually don't play on one. I might be able to catch them tomorrow. They usually don't play on Saturday. But anyway, I'm shutting this thing down. Y'all be good now? You here? Tell everybody, y'all know I said hello. We'll see you down the road. Yeehaw!